thanks for tuning into The Tonight Show. I'm your host, Jimmy Fallon, and our first guest tonight is none other than founding father, Virginia native, and author of Federalist 51, ladies and gentlemen, James Madison. Hello, James Madison, and welcome to the show. First of all, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I understand that it's been quite the year for you. I know you've been hard at work trying to create a new form of government and persuade the states to ratify it. Here, we have Federalist 51. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, yeah, well, basically, I've joined forces with Alexander Hamilton, as well as John Jay to write a series of essays defending the new United States Constitution, entitled The Federalist Papers. Collectively, we've written 85 essays in the span of 6 months. I authored 29 of them, and Federalist 51 just so happens to be one of them. And in Federalist 51, I focused on addressing checks and balances and the separation of powers amongst the three.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. Sorry to interrupt, but just to clarify for our viewers at home, what do you mean by all of that? Checks and balances and separation of powers?
Sure. Well, you see, checks and balances are counterbalancing influences to regulate each other and make sure that one influence or branch is not taking more control or power than they are allowed. And separation of powers is establishing those three counterbalancing branches of government: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial branch.
Yes.
Separation of powers, Jimmy, is just a way of giving certain rights or certain legal rights to each branch to define what they have the power to do and not to do, and they'll be held accountable by the other branches and the people of the United States. Because here's where I'm coming from, Jimmy.
Okay. Yeah.
We're trying to convince a population of patriots and statesmen who just fought a war to throw off a tyrannical monarch and who hate the idea of a central government, that a strong central government is what we need. And not one like the British Crown. I mean, we're not trying to give one man or group of people absolute control over an entire nation. That's what I mean by separation of powers.
Yes.
We've come up with a new form of government inspired by French philosopher Montesquieu,
Montesquieu,
who theorized the idea of separation of powers. And people don't trust it yet. But hey, that's what we're doing. We're trying to convince the people this is what we need. Because we can't have another Shays Rebellion, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need something stronger.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. So next, on the Tonight Show, we do a lot of games. I'm
excited.
But we do so many games. And so, if you don't mind, we're gonna play one. We're going to do the Whisper Challenge.
Whisper Challenge. No.
So here's how the game works. One person puts on headphones, soundproof headphones, and we're going to play some loud music. And the other person is going to pick up a card and say the words on that card. And the person who's wearing the headphones has to guess what they just said.
Yeah.
So you ready to play?
I think I'm ready, Jimmy.
All right.
All right. So I just read this.
Wait, what? Mr. Michigan? Help. Impeach? Help me, John.
Ambition.
Impeach him?
Ambition.
I'm peachy.
Ambition.
Ambition!
Ambition must.
Bust?
Must.
Money.
No. Must.
Must. Ambition must.
Be.
Made. Penny.
Made.
Made.
Yes.
Ambition must be made
To. Counteract.
You said counteract, right? Ambition must be made to counteract.
Ambition.
Ambition must be made to counteract ambition.
Yes.
Woo!
The legislative authority necessarily predominates.
The
the
legislative
interstate
legislative authority
authority
necessarily
Whoa.
predominates
predominance
aids
ants
the legislative authority necessarily predominates
legislative authority necessarily predominates.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, did I get it?
Yeah.
The different governments will control each other.
The
The
different
difference. Am I yelling? Oh wow, I'm so sorry.
governments
Of government
will control
hydrocarbonate. I literally have no clue. Control each
other.
other. All right, James Madison, it is your turn now. Do you have your music playing? Hello. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. If
Men, please,
men,
beats, me,
men,
yellow,
men,
Fallon,
look,
tea,
no,
white,
no, men,
people,
Okay, men.
if men
Were
were
angels. No.
I know this one. If men were angels, say more. No
Government
government
would.
would be necessary.
Yes.
It's my essay. I know the quotes.
Justice.
Justice.
Yes.
Ah!
Is
Is
the
the milk
and
egg
and thank you of government. Yes.
Justice is the end of government.
Security for civil rights must be the same as for religious rights.
Security.
Teach.
Security.
Legislature.
Security.
The jury.
Security.
Securities.
Thank you.
Security for
Civil.
the
Nope. Civil.
civil
Yep. Rights
rights. Security for civil rights
must be
the
same as
same as
for
for
religious
religious
rights.